Well, it seems like Bel'Veth proved herself to be a valuable asset to the world of League of Legends. Her lore took me by surprise, and now I can say, I really like it. If only I could see more of it past the thighs. Anyway, because Bel'Veth explains quite a fundamental part of Runeterra, that being the Void, even her voice lines get really interesting. Especially since they give relevance to some champions who really need it. So without further ado, let's have a look at the voice lines of Bel'Veth.
Only existence can sate your hunger, Cho'Gath.
And the first one who deserves attention is Cho'Gath. For those of you who don't know, Cho'Gath currently has no canon lore. We genuinely have no idea where he is or what he's doing. But now, Bel'Veth confirmed his existence. So technically, Cho'Gath is canon again. Suck it up, Shaco. And the only thing she really confirmed is that Cho'Gath hungers. The original concept was that Cho'Gath was supposed to be eating worlds, but that would make him as powerful as the Watchers. So I don't think that's the case. But at least it's good to see that Cho'Gath is somewhere eating something.
You disappoint me, Kaisa. The Watchers are the true threat.
Then she has a voice line with Kaisa. If you have seen the last video where we talked about Bel'Veth's lore, you know that she's trying to get Kaisa on her side to fight the Watchers. However, to fight the Watchers, she needs to destroy reality. It's complicated, alright. That's what the voice line is referring to.
Kassadin, the void you knew is gone. Your war cannot be won.
Then she has a voice line with Kassadin. In her story, she confirmed that Kassadin did indeed face Bel'Veth's void. Remember, Bel'Veth's void is a bit different from the normal void. While the Watchers and the normal void are trying to destroy all reality, Bel'Veth is trying to consume it and essentially merge reality and the void. She also confirmed that Kassadin is going a bit crazy. And so with this voice line, she is essentially telling Kassadin that he's not fighting the void of the Watchers. He's fighting Bel'Veth now.
Yes, Kha'Zix, you have tasted the world and crave more.
Of course, Kha'Zix started as a small pup, then he started consuming creatures and grew a bit bigger. He is technically not on Bel'Veth's side. There is not much more to add here.
Kog'Maw, so small and yet so much potential.
Just like Cho'Gath, Kog'Maw also had no lore. And so once again, it is amazing to see that Kog'Maw is canon too. Suck it up, Shaco.
You cannot fight the Watchers alone, Lissandra.
And then, of course, we know that Lissandra is holding back the Watchers in the north. Technically, Lissandra is Bel'Veth's ally. They are both the world's salvation against the Watchers. However, Bel'Veth is trying to destroy them through really awful means.
Witness me, my prophet.
Yes, Malzahar is the prophet who sacrificed an entire 10th town in the glory of his empress. The cool twist is, the entire time Malzahar wasn't serving the Watchers, he was serving Bel'Veth.
Queen of the Xersai, you of all things, resist the change.
Even though Rek'Sai wasn't really mentioned in Bel'Veth's story. From the story with Taliyah and Kaisa, we know that Rek'Sai is Bel'Veth's enemy. Even though she's also in Shurima, Rek'Sai is not giving whatever she consumes to Bel'Veth.
Vel'Koz, your Watchers cannot unmake me so easily.
When it comes to Vel'Koz, remember that he is one of the oldest Voidborn in existence. When the Watchers first erupted on Runeterra, Vel'Koz was one of the first scouts that was led out. So he is definitely against Bel'Veth.
Such intense emotions, Ruined King. A meal to match my hungers.
There will be more voice lines with Viego, but I'm gonna assume this one is here because the lore was written by the same person.
You are new to me, child of the void. Show me your intentions.
Even though this seems to be a totally random quote, whenever she meets a Voidborn, she needs to know if they just destroy the matter they consume, or if they can pass it to Bel'Veth so that she can create her own world.
You become greedy, Cho'Gath. Vicious, wanting.
Once again, Cho'Gath likes to eat.
You resist me, Kaisa, yet I am your salvation.
This is a reference to a quote from the story where the two met. There, Bel'Veth told Kaisa that she is the only salvation against the Watchers.
As stubborn and brave as your daughter. And now, so am I.
This is an interesting quote, because this may be referencing the fact that Bel'Veth is adapting human emotions. After all, that's what Bel'Veth does. She is consuming reality so that she can become reality. That comes with emotions and all.
Continue your evolution, Kha'Zix. Devour everything.
And here you can see that she would like Kha'Zix to be on her side. I guess that would be because if Kha'Zix consumes stuff, she can then consume Kha'Zix and get all the material.
Your true self awaits, mouth of the abyss.
This is also an interesting quote, because she may be teasing the fact that Kog'Maw is just a tiny Voidborn that grows into something much bigger. It seems like one day Kog'Maw will transform.
Consider an alliance, Lysandra. Consider it carefully.
Once again, the two are fighting the Watchers.
A beast of motherly instinct. The Watchers did not anticipate this.
Once again, yet another interesting quote. This one might be teasing the fact that when Rek'Sai was spawned, she was meant to go around and consume everything, but as she adapted to reality, she also inherited her motherly instincts. And so now, even though the Voidborn are supposed to be emotionless machines, maybe Rek'Sai cares about her brood. And she doesn't want to obliterate everything because she wants to exist with her children. This would definitely be something the Watchers would not anticipate.
Every moment of your life now belongs to me, Stoneweaver.
And yes, this is also a reference to Talia's recent story. The story where the Void started eating Talia's people. It turns out that Void was Bel'Veth.
They would erase even her memory, Ruined King. You can still save her.
Once again, the voice lines for both of these champions are written by the same person, that's what this really is. But also, even though there is probably no way to bring back Isolde, because Isolde was essentially vaporized by the Absolver, she technically still exists in reality in the form of memories. And so, Bel'Veth is telling Viego that he can still keep her in reality if he fights the Watchers. Theoretically, there is also the fact that if Bel'Veth consumes the information about Isolde, she can just remake her using Void Flesh. It sounds horrifying, but Viego has been into worse stuff.
If you refuse to join me, Nashor, then die.
I'm not sure what's happening with the poultry, but at least she might be confirming that Nashor is actually a Voidborn. So I still have no idea what the heck Aurelian is doing with that thing.
Existence was our cocoon. It has made the Void into something more.
This is essentially the core of her lore. For millennia, the Void was just the Void, but when reality came into existence, the Void started morphing against its own will.
All your lives you have chased your own destruction. At long last, I am here.
This is a cool quote because she's referencing the fact that people have been summoning the Void for quite a while, and this is the result.
Life has infected my kind with the desire to exist. We crave only what was forced upon us.
Again, at the beginning of time, the Void was just the Void. It was reality with its emotions and stuff that started corrupting the Void. Yep, we are the baddies.
When the Void first touched existence, both were changed forever.
Yet another quote about Bel'Veth being the merging of reality and the Void.
You tore us from our formless cradle and cast us into the horror of reality.
This is the same quote but way creepier.
We have always watched.
Get it?
Undisturbed, the Void wanted nothing. Now we simply want. The Void cannot go back to what it was.
And then there are a bunch of these quotes that all essentially say the same thing. Everything was peaceful before we arrived.
Drown in me.
And that one was just for you. But that is it for her voice lines. I really like how the voice lines do exactly what her bio does. It simply explains things. And it is just done so well. At the beginning I was skeptical about the champion. It all seemed a bit off and I wasn't sure what to really expect. But after reading the lore, going through all the cinematics and talking about the voice lines, I can easily say I really like this champion. And she would have been perfect. But there may be just one more thing we could talk about. Those damn thighs.